Welcome back to the DNA
Pest Control Podcast.
Oh, you caught on quick.
Dang, dude. Give me a little heads up next time.
That was good.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. All right. With your host, Daniel.
And Aaron.
Oh, there we go. Maybe we should throw that in there more often.
Yeah.
I think they know by now.
They should.
They should.
If you don't, it's 2024.
It's
Yeah.
New year, new you. So get on it. Okay. So today's a fun one. Because we hit on it actually last year quite a bit. Pest World hit on it quite a bit. Mm-hmm. This article is going to be interesting because there's some conflicting things in it, which I love because I like to point out some of the stupid stuff in there. And I hope people would point out the stupid stuff that we do here because I like doing it. So
Yeah, I do it all the time.
yeah. But bedbugs has been on the rise, at least for us. Now, it could be for a few reasons. It could be because they're actually on a comeback and they're becoming more prevalent in the area or just in the U.S. in general, or because we're growing and we're just getting more calls because of that. But I don't know.
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
So I don't know how true it is, but this article, guys, going back, where to find some of the knowledge. PCT is a magazine for pest control technicians, right? You want to get and subscribe to it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Not all the content is great. Okay. There is a lot of stuff that they're pushing for big companies, products, stuff like that. Some of the articles really have little to no really reason behind it for us, but they do come out with some good stuff. So it is always good to go through. And you want to get your hands in literally everything to be ahead of the next person growing in the pest control industry. Mm-hmm. So get a hold of PCT. They came out with a bedbug control market report, okay? When they do these things, they go out, they talk. I get emails now because I subscribe. And they are actually asking pest control owners, pest control companies, even some managers, operators, and they're asking those people what they think about certain things. So this one is bedbug control, right? So this is all going to be about the bedbug and bedbug market. One of the things that they talk about on here is compared with last year, do you think your market area will see an overall increase or decrease in the number/frequency of bedbug calls and jobs this year, 2024, compared to 2023? What do you think?
I think yes, at least for us.
Yeah. No, I agree with it. Mm-hmm. And so does 52% other people.
Cool.
Yeah. So 31% think no change. 9% actually think it's going to be a decrease. And then some just don't know and others just don't answer. So
that's such a broad question though. Like, what are they actually basing that off of?
Well, feelings.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's just feeling, it's just like, I think we're going to do more.
Yeah.
Now we have done more actually year after year after year. Mm-hmm. In the beginning we had very, very few and little calls come through. And as time went on, and especially because we've gotten into more multifamily units, we've had more and more and more. Yeah. So we'll see if this year is actually more. I think so. We've already started off with a bang, and we're already doing treatments. So yes, I would assume that, yes, it only could go up from here. Mm-hmm. One of the other ones is, in the past 5 years, have bedbug control services become a more or less significant portion of your location's business? What do you think?
Well,
I just
based
said
on
it.
my first answer, it would have to be more. But no, it is.
It is.
It is.
For us, it is. All right. So they said 41% said more significant, 30% no change, 21% said less significant. So it's kind of interesting how, they're kind of comparing some of these things because it almost contradicts itself.
In a way.
Saying 50% thinks so it is going up, and then another 21% thinks it's going down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. It's kind of interesting how the numbers kind of pop up and who they're asking. But so this is where it really gets kind of sketchy on some of the numbers here, which is interesting. But there's another one is growth hurdles. What challenges are holding back the growth of your location's bedbug services? What do you think is the most?
What challenges are holding our locations back?
Or just in ours or in general.
The willingness to learn and actually understand the pest and understand how to eliminate the pest properly.
I would agree with you. I would say that should have been number one on here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's...
Oh, they give you answers.
Yeah. No, they give you like specifics.
So what did the people say?
Well, this is what the people said. So the phone isn't ringing about bed bugs and no customer demands.
Ooh.
Okay. Once again, isn't that weird? Compared with the last year, do you think your market will see an overall increase? 52% said yes. 31% said no change. Okay. So that means they're still going to get calls. We're talking about 83%. But yet 26% of these people say that the phone isn't ringing. It doesn't even make sense on some of these numbers. But so is the phone not ringing because of lack of advertisement, or the phone isn't ringing like where? How?
Oh, maybe they're just not offering it. Or maybe they do offer it, but they're
It's not on the website. It's just not there.
When they're going into certain things and maybe doing inspections, they're not even going over the importance of it.
Yeah, see, and that's just it's just weird. Anyway, the second thing, actually there's two that are neck and neck. Can't find technicians / labor shortage. That was another thing they put on here.
What's the next one?
We don't want to get on that. We don't want to even touch that.
We'll go back to it. I want to see what 2B is.
Okay. Increased competition.
Okay. Everybody knows that everybody's dealing with the labor thing right now. Are they talking about techs don't want to deal with bed bugs, or they can't get techs in the first place on the first one?
I think that's a good one. And, there was a time that it was difficult for us to hire technicians. Now, no, wait. Let me back up. It was not hard to hire a technician. It was hard to hire a good technician. Okay, so I'll be very specific. It was hard to hire a good technician. Now, we are way different than what we were before. So finding a guy and bringing on a guy now is so easy. Mm-hmm. And to filter through everything and to bring on a new guy. So shortage of labor, I don't think it was there. I don't think it ever was there because we had interviews. Mm-hmm. Even in the peak of when it was pretty tough and everybody was saying it was tough. I still had a ton of interviews.
Yeah, we did.
It never went away. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there was ever a shortage. And the other thing is what are you doing? Are you just doing it online? Is it like an Indeed thing?
Are you asking the text, do you know anybody that wants a job?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, sucks for us.
Yeah. Are you putting it out there? Mm-hmm. Are you going to other companies and taking their technicians? I don't think there's a labor shortage. Mm-hmm. I think it's more of a creative shortage.
Yeah.
Like, how creative are you being to get it? Because I don't think you're trying. Because I did it, and we had a ton of people applying. It just was, it was harder to find a really good guy and to convince him, say, hey, this is a good place to work.
Yeah.
Over another one. But also technicians and whoever's listening, I'm going to call you guys out right now. You guys are idiots. Okay, because you go in and apply at a place, but you don't want to show up until you hear a number of pay or anything. And that was a big issue I was running into is they wouldn't want to even show up. And it's like, you hate your job. I did a phone interview with a guy and he couldn't stop talking about how much he hated where he was working. And I'm like, great, show up. Let's do an interview. Didn't even show up. It's like, stop being stupid, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go somewhere and you want to get, but so I don't think there's really a labor shortage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it when this article came out. I don't agree with it now. And now they say it's even easier. I just don't think it was there. I just think the tactics were very, you may just be following the corporate tactics, which probably didn't work because you got to change with your times.
Yeah.
And today's times are different. So you got a 70-year-old guy who's running his pest control company for 70 years, actually less, probably passed down to him, right?
Yeah.
But they're probably running it the same way as they always have. And so now they're having a shortage, but the guys just don't want to work there because it's old school.
Yeah. Like you said, lack of creativity, lack of adaptation. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
They're on paper. They're writing everything down. They have apps because the thing is, the problem is today is you have kids that are like, there's an easier way. And then the old guy's like, oh, I've been doing it for 40 years. You don't know, and it's like, well, no, there really is an easier way. Like you should probably listen to that kid.
Yeah.
And so I think it is hard. Sorry, we'll move on. Increased competition. What do you think?
Increased competition between like companies.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. I do. I think that is too.
Yeah.
I think there's so much opportunity out there. I think that should actually be wiped off. I don't agree with that at all. Declining incidence of bed bugs in the market. 19% say that it's declining.
I disagree.
I do too. Every let's see, actually the last, dude, all of our treatments that we have done in the past 4 or 5 months have been from companies that could not get rid of bed bugs. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking even of the big one we have out there, the multi-housing family thing.
It was because the last company couldn't get rid of them. So there is not a declining incidences. There's more companies that don't know what they're doing and trying to take care of it and they can't, and then they go to another company. So your competition's gone. It's thrown out the window. You have one idiot trying to do it and they can't do it. And then it goes to the next person and the next one, and the next one, and the next one until they get a company that actually can.
Yeah.
So I don't think that, I don't agree with that either. That was 19%. I mean, it is low. So marketing / getting the word out that we offer this service is 14%. That's a challenge, apparently. Why don't you just put an ad out? I mean, they didn't educate these people very well. Callback / can't find an effective treatment or service regimen. Only 5% of people said that. That should have been like at 80%.
Yeah, I think people are probably embarrassed to admit that.
Oh, 100% embarrassed. Yeah. Other, I don't even know what other means, but there's apparently 6% of other. And then none. So bedbug services are growing just fine. 18% agreed with that. So there hasn't been a hurdle at all.
Yeah, that's probably the only metric on that I agree with.
Yeah, the true one. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, some of this stuff.
It really is.
So I mean, go back and think about it. If you are offering bed bugs, are you actually following up to see if you're getting rid of the bed bugs? And if you are getting rid of the bed bugs, you can wipe off a lot of these, but are you seeing that you're losing bed bug jobs to another company? I see it more as people can't afford the bed bug treatment than losing it to another company.
Yeah.
I can see that way more. All right. One big thing is they said prep. Important, not always attainable. How do you feel about that?
Important, but not always attainable. I would switch that and say it's crucial and absolutely necessary.
Right. But if you can't attain it, what do you do?
You use other methods to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And let's think of a real life situation, because maybe people aren't picking up what we're putting down.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm trying to think of a case where like a normal prep for a bed bug job, an aspect of it where somebody couldn't get it done. like somebody's bedridden, for example,
Yeah.
and they can't leave the home, and you normally do a chemical treatment or a heat treatment, you know, would you walk away? Would you know what I mean? Is that what they're trying to get at, or?
You know, no, not necessarily. What they're going after is they're essentially saying in here is that to gain control in a proper way, you do need to have you need to have prep. Prep needs to be done. And what some of these companies are saying that they interviewed is like, one, they say if they have not prepped, we do charge if there's no prep and it's a high clutter. So that was coming from one owner. We have another one. Let's see. My experience is if I have somebody prep, we are going to get better participation, which is going to give us better results. You know, so they're kind of going back and forth as people who are prepping, who are not prepping. If you are a one-track minded company and it was heat treats, yeah, you would essentially have to walk away. They can't leave. You probably wouldn't even quote it in the beginning, right? Because you would say this is absolutely necessary. If you tent a house, same thing. You have to leave. There is no option to stay inside. So we can't do it if you don't leave or you can't leave.
Right.
You know? But why don't you offer prep too?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think a lot of people think outside the box.
Yeah, we always throw it on the bottom of our estimates. Like, we can always assist with the prep for an additional fee.
Yeah. I mean, why
And
not?
there's times we've literally had to gut out an entire unit, take it to the dump.
Yeah.
There's times where we've had to throw bags and bags of furniture and stuff over balconies for people. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's
creative.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's why aren't you providing that if it's not getting done? If you know the results aren't going to be there, why would, in this case of this owner, we charge more? Why?
Yeah.
Why would you charge more if there's clutter? You're still dealing with the clutter. You're just not, you're not taking care of the actual problem. So, really interesting on, what's important and not attainable. But this is another good thing is why, Pest World and some of these educational places, I mean, that put on, expos and everything like that is very important because they do teach you in cases where somebody can't prep, what they've done and the studies behind it and how they've gained control. Because there's so many different uses and different, mechanics and products, not even, well, yeah, really, it's more on the mechanical side of things, equipment we can use to take care of bed bugs. You just don't learn it, right? You're just like, this is how you do it, and that's it.
Yes.
So they said, which one of these bed bug markets represented the largest portion of your location's bed bug revenue? And, this was for 2022. What do you think it was? You probably can get it right.
Apartments.
Yep. Apartments, multifamily housing, 48%. And then what?
Hospitals?
That's third.
No way, it's residential.
Oh, sorry. Hospitals is fourth. Single family homes, second. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the hospitality industry. So like hotels, I'm assuming.
Like senior living cares. That's where my mind goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, which actually really transitional housing is 2%.
It's weird.
That is very weird. But I can see that they just don't have the budgeting for it. And so they're not taking care of it, or they know you're a drug addict, you're a bum, you don't care anyway, and we're just going to put you through those living situations so I can make the maximum amount of money. And I'm not going to take care of it because I don't care anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be in and out of this house, so I don't care.
I'm getting my bonus no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could see that. But yeah, so apartments, multifamily housing, and single family homes are the top. Yeah. So they make up 81%.
Dang.
Yeah. Huge.
Oh.
But you know what? That is a huge thing. Like earlier in this article I was reading that a company, they don't even care to do it. They do it so that they can take care of the customer, but they don't push it. It's just, hey, we offer it if you want it, because you're our customer, so we'll do it for you, but because we don't want you to go somewhere else. But that's it. We don't really care.
It's odd.
I mean, unless they're, bread and butter or something else, right?
Yeah, or they've had terrible success in the past.
So it's like, we'll do it, but there's no guarantees.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I can see that. I could see it. So this is another thing they did go over in the article, which was great, but it did come from a class as well at Pest World. And what we literally just talked about is more tools are better. And the class that I took and I sat in is you saw an increasing amount of people decreasing the amount of tools that they're using. So if it was heat treatments, they would only do heat treatments, or they would slowly get away from heat treatments and go back to chemical treatments. Because they would kind of go to whatever's easier and more convenient. And I'm going to tell you everybody a little secret. Bedbugs are not easy and convenient in any level. It sucks, right? You got to tip furniture. You got to spray every crack and crevice. I mean, literally everything. Being thorough is the secret, but you can't make it easy. You make it easy, you're doing it wrong. It's not easy. There's nothing easy about it.
Yeah.
So when people are having issues with them or can't get rid of them, I know exactly why it is. You went lazy. You went easy. I did it.
Yeah.
I did it on a job. I went quick, fast, easy, thought I could find the easy way out of it. And the next time it was like same amount of bed bugs still everywhere. I mean, it was terrible. And then I went super, super heavy and thorough. And it was like population went down to almost nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think they saw anything between those treatments. I did when I went back, but it was because I went super thorough on that one. And so now I've learned you just do that every time, because you're screwing yourself at the end of the day if you don't.
That's what I mean. It's like the reports earlier where do you feel like the service is declining? That's a result as being a one-trick pony.
Yeah. Yep. Spray, pray, hurry. Just use the quickest aerosol can that you can. That's going to be able to treat everything. What's that one called that I hate? Crossfire.
Yeah.
Use Crossfire, kill everything, and only use that and you'll be fine. It's like, well, you should probably think about what you're using.
Yeah.
But what they said is, which of these treatments or service regimens does your company location use to control bed bugs? What do you think is the top at 92%?
Oh, is it really that high?
Do you know what it is?
I hope I'm wrong. Is it heat treatments?
No, it's not actually
God.
Heat treatments. Yeah.
God.
No, heat treatments, I heard, has been declining.
Good.
2 years ago,
Good.
actually in Pest World, I overheard a conversation. A guy who sold the heat treatment machines, everything like that, and a guy who was buying from him. And he's like, we have like a ton of your equipment just sitting in the back. We don't even use it anymore. He's like, it's been decreasing a ton.
Yeah.
And the salesman's like, oh, for me, it's been good. It's been crazy. And he's like, dude, it freaking sucks.
Yeah. Okay, so on those stats, are they talking about the total dollar amount?
No. So what they're saying is, so what's the regimen? So what is your treatment method? What do you go to on your treatments?
Chemical treatment.
Okay. Yep. So 92%.
Good.
Yep. Now, what is another thing? It does say treatment or service regimen. So part of that service regimen, what is another thing that's up there on how to treat? You already got chemical out of the way. Another factor or another thing that you could use.
The mechanical intervention.
But what would that be? So be more specific on the mechanical.
Okay. HEPA-vac.
Oh, and real quick, guys, Aaron has not seen this article, so I'm asking him. He does not know what's going on here. Okay, so what'd you say?
No, it's good that you brought that up. One would be HEPA-vac, like a vacuum.
Okay, that is number 3 at 51%.
Steamer.
Steam treatments are at 28%. You're getting them. You already hit heat treatments at 31.
Okay.
Now there's 2 big ones that we use and we recommend it. Actually, we require it.
Oh, mattress encasements.
Yep, that's number 2 at 62%.
And then the pitfall traps.
Yep, bedbug monitoring at 46%.
There we go.
Yep. And then it goes down to biological or biopesticide treatments, 19%. Canine detection, 15%. Dude, every time I read that, it pisses me off so much because they've already come out with, they can't, like literally science has come out that it's false.
Yeah.
It's 100% false.
Yeah.
It's literally by sheer luck.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if you are listening to this and you currently do offer that service, please let us know, because everything I have heard about it just doesn't make any sense about it either.
All the studies I have had, every class, and this is from universities, not pest control companies.
Mm-hmm.
These are from universities doing studies on dogs. And they did different types of dogs. You're getting in all sorts of different types. None of them hit 100% accuracy. The closest they even got to 100% accuracy was 50%, which is a coin toss.
That's the thing, is if I was out of the industry as a homeowner and somebody came in, was like, hey, I have this dog who's going to detect, whether you have bed bugs or not, go through the whole interview process. I'm like, okay, what's the actual success rate? Anything under like 97 is unacceptable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah,
how the hell can you try to offer that at a coin toss rate?
Well, it's easy. Money. Because you can charge a ton. I'm bringing in a service dog. Service animal, you're going to charge, hundreds of dollars to come in and do an inspection. And then you look legit. You got the guy with the shirt on and the 8 pins in his pocket. And, he's got his dog there, buddy.
Yeah.
Telling him to sniff everything. And then when he barks, he gives him a treat. And the dog just starts barking at every situation. And they make a ton of money off of the canine and doing the inspection. And then they make even more because they found bed bugs that were never there. Yeah, they did it. They had a ton of different rooms. They brought in the dogs and their specialists and all this. And they had a room where there was literally 0 bed bugs and nothing, and dogs were actually giving false signs of bed bugs, and there were none.
Yeah, just going for that treat.
Yeah, and then they would have other ones where they would go in, they would sniff. There's actually active bed bugs, and nothing would happen. They never would bark. They would nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just anyway. Canines, it's a joke. And then they have fumigation, cold treatments, and other. I don't know what the category of other would be. Cold treatments, I have heard more for cockroaches, not for bed bugs. But I don't know. Never tried it. I see advertisements on it all the time. Yeah. You're just freezing bugs, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know how cold it gets, but
I'm trying to picture how that be applied, like a opposite of a hairdryer. Would it be more of like a pinpoint application? I think like you put on your skin to freeze like warts, or is it a little bit bigger than that?
No, it's like a spray.
Okay.
So it's just really, really cold. I don't know if it's liquid nitrogen. I don't know.
They just kind of.
So there, you would take a seam of a bed and then you would just go and spray, or hit it, and it would just freeze everything that was there. Yeah. So I guess it would work. It'd kill everything, but that's the same as steaming.
Yeah.
And steaming's actually a lot hotter, and you would cook them instantly.
And probably a lot cheaper because it's water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just got to get the machine.
Liquid nitrogen or whatever they're using.
Yeah, that's true. So that's probably why it's at 2%.
Yeah.
I'm sure some suckers jumped on it and started using it. I was considering it, but everything I did, all the research I looked at, it just made no sense. So guys, this is the thing. When you're getting into bedbug treatments and you want to do an accurate job, right? Let's go back to secret one, right? Thorough. You have to be thorough. You cannot do it any other way. So our big number one go-to is insecticide treatments. That's exactly what we do. It's been effective. It works. We can guarantee our services, but you cannot be lazy when you're doing it.
Yeah.
You want to cut a corner, you're going to have a problem. The next thing is mattress encasements. You don't get an option. If you want the guarantee, you have to put them on. If you do not want the guarantee, don't put them on your bed.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. So you have to do that. The other one is that we've started using very heavily now is vacuuming. Going in and vacuuming up most of the population. Understand, an adult female, which is fairly large, and you can see about the size of a mustard seed, it's going to be pregnant for its entire life. Once it's impregnated once, it's always pregnant. So it's going to be just a freaking egg factory. Okay. If you vacuum it up, well, guess what? You just reduce that population permanently, while you're treating as well. So that's a big one. We actually just at this one facility that we did, we went in, vacuumed everything. Did we do it on the second treatment or third, or just on that first?
I think on the final or the follow-up ones, I brought it with me just to remove some of the dead ones that were there.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of the population reduction, no. It was just the first initial treatment we did that on, which was insanely effective.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it dropped the population down to almost nothing.
Yeah.
After that first one, which was the best that they've ever had from any company previous to us. Because no other company could get a hold of it. And then bedbug monitors. That is massive. Yeah. Bedbug monitors are huge. And no, it's not to catch thousands at a time. That's not the idea behind them either, right? It's not to gain 100% control just with monitoring, but it tells you where the bedbugs are and what's going on. And you are going to catch those stragglers to help prevent any, reproducing of bedbugs. But it tells you where you have to focus your treatments, which is cool. And then jumping heat treatments, which we do not do, steam treatments are huge as well. Especially in hard to hit areas. You have your baseboards that are carpet, not wood, and they can get right behind the carpet. It's really good to use steamers. And then on any metal bed frames, things like that, you can see.
Yeah, like when on like a wooden bed frame, but underneath it where the metal is fastened to the wood, where the box spring sits on, all those little tiny grooves and cracks, that's what we've used it on, at least one of the more recent ones. It worked out great.
Yeah, honestly, it's huge. And then on wood, it works really well, especially some of the new beds that have like the wood planks underneath the mattress or the box spring, and then it has cloth.
Oh, like that Velcro stuff keeping the planks together.
Yep. Yeah. You can just go hit that with the steamer. You have to be careful if it's plastic because you'll melt it. But on any of the fabric stuff, you can just hit it and you'll wipe anything out that's underneath or the eggs. So using more tools is better. So I do agree with that. Now, which season tends to be the busiest for providing bedbug control services at our location? And actually, what do you think is the highest? So they have summer, fall, spring, winter, and no seasonal difference.
I have two trains of thought. Winter, because you're huddled up more, you're home more, you're in bed more. You notice things more.
Okay, that makes sense.
Summer, because it's more uncomfortable to sleep when it's hot anyways. Then you add in the extra pest factor, it makes it even more of an issue. Okay. Or I could just be full of shit and it's no change at all.
Okay. I think you should go through last.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
No, 43% agree with it, saying no seasonal difference.
Okay, yeah.
36% said summer, and actually the lowest is 4% on winter. The only reason why I would think 4% on winter is because when it gets cold, bed bugs will slow down the metabolism and they won't move as much. And most people aren't turning on their heater to keep their bill down.
So they're just a heat factory in their bed.
Yeah, well, so it's like the bed bugs that go away from the bed are going to be laying dormant for that time. And because like we don't turn on the heat at my place. So it's actually naturally colder in the winter than in the summer. In the summer, we're turning on the AC, but during the day it's hotter. So they can populate quicker, metabolism's faster. Winter, it makes sense. When I'm gone, it's not like the heat kicks on, so it's going to get even colder. Or if we're gone on the weekend, anything like that, we turn off the heat so the house is, stays fairly cold. Yeah. So it makes sense. But in our business, I don't think there's a seasonal difference. So I don't see it at all.
I'm just running back through this past year. It's been pretty consistent.
Very consistent. All right, now for the fun stuff. Resistance.
Let's talk about that.
All right. Now, should we jump into what you have or should we jump into statistics first and then I'll let you run wild?
Statistics first.
Okay. Let's do that. So let me see. How would you characterize the level of bedbug resistance in your market area?
How would I characterize it?
Yeah. Oh, I guess I should read these.
Okay.
My bad.
That's okay.
We have not encountered bedbug resistance. We seldom encounter bedbug resistance. Bedbug resistance is a problem, but a manageable one. Bedbug resistance is a serious problem, difficult to manage, and no answer. What do you think is the top? We have not encountered bedbug. We seldom encounter bedbug. Bedbug resistance is a problem, but a manageable one.
That's what I go to. It's a problem, but a manageable one.
But have you seen it here? For you?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm with you.
Okay.
But on here, it actually, the highest is we seldom encounter bedbug. I have not encountered bedbug resistance. So I don't know.
No, I haven't either.
I think if you do it correct from the beginning, you won't run into bedbug resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, you would only run into bedbug resistance if you're doing full-on treatments in a unit for a while.
Sure.
You know, or a home, and you haven't been able to get rid of them 100%, and you're not being thorough, and you're not hitting every crack and crevice and furniture and everything.
Yeah.
You know, then I could see where the resistance come from. But when you do a treatment and then you wait a year and treat them again, that resistance is typically gone, you know, by the time you're back, because you're already going through multiple generations.
So what you're saying is you feel like a lot of the resistance is developed from improper treatments.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah. I'm just reiterating it because I agree with that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's improper treatments create those problems. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no other way around it. You're not doing a proper job. You're not being thorough. You're not treating how you should treat. The prep maybe not there as well, or they're reintroducing bed bugs or whatever it may be, or you're treating multiple units the same time over for months on end.
Sure.
Then you build that resistance. But I don't see a resistance being built. And even then, I don't think an insect can build a resistance to an IGR. That's going to be a great question. Does anybody know if you can actually have an insect resistant to an insect growth regulator?
I feel like you'd have to try to get that to happen.
Well, I don't know how you would. Because it doesn't kill them. It's just making them sterile. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's it.
Unless
it's like a girl taking birth control. They don't build a resistance to it. They're just birth control stays the same for 20 years. I mean, 30 years, 40 years, it doesn't matter.
You don't think that they at some point could be able to metabolize that?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's what you're throwing out there asking.
I don't know. I don't think so, because it's not a threat to the body. Where the insecticide is attacking the nervous system, you know, it's a threat to the body, where the body now has to build up a resistance. Becoming sterile isn't a threat to the body necessarily.
Yeah.
And the body can still function at the same as before. Mm-hmm. You're just tricking it.
Yeah.
So I wonder. I don't know.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's a good question. I got to reach out to some people I know. Ask them to see if there's a resistance or not.
Or you guys let us know.
Or let us know. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, so 32% say we have not encountered bedbug resistance. 43% say seldom. And 22% says bedbug resistance is a problem, but a manageable one. So I'm assuming in high rises, big, you know, very heavily populated areas.
Yeah.
Has your location implemented a bedbug resistance protocol? So treatment protocol. Yes, no, or no answer.
Am I going off of what the people said?
Yeah.
I would assume most people would probably say yes or no answer. For us, it hasn't been necessary because we've done things properly. Mm-hmm. But I would say probably no answer.
No answer was 1%. So 47% said yes.
Okay.
And 52% said no, which is, yeah. So a majority of people do not have a resistance treatment protocol, which we do not have a written resistance protocol.
Good point.
Do I have one? Yes.
Yeah, good point. We understand it, but it's not written.
No. Mm-hmm. It's not for the guys. It's not out there. So it's probably a good thing to have just in case.
Yeah.
But you also have to be careful with that, because if the guy's not doing a proper treatment, he's going to think that they're resistant and they're not. Mm-hmm. So you got to be kind of careful on that. Mm-hmm. Is product rotation part of your location's bedbug resistance treatment protocol? Yes or no?
The people are going to say yes.
Yes. 89% said yes.
Yeah.
11% said no. Once again, that's the whole idea for resistance, is you are going to rotate, so it'd have to be yes.
Yeah.
But also, are you doing the proper treatment, or are you using the same product and being lazy? And then now you have to change the product because of that.
Correct.
So that's kind of interesting, but, yeah, we'll come to a close on some of the numbers and what they say cost wise. So to bring, whoever's out there who's thinking about adding it on, they actually give you a number of what you should charge. But we'll jump into what you think about resistance. What did you learn at your class in Pest World?
A lot of good information overload. More of a real life aspect on what we encountered, we encountered a pesticide resistant. It was an apartment complex where I can't remember how many treatments over how many months they were doing it. They were using the product Crossfire, which is not a bad product.
No.
MGK, it's not a bad product, but
no, I say I hate it because I've heard so many bad things about it and it doesn't work. But now we know why.
It's because people are lazy with it.
Yes.
It's because people are absolutely lazy with it.
Yes. Yep.
So you're going in there and you are giving them, you're basically setting yourself up for one of the resistance mechanisms. There's 4 of them that they went over at Pest World. We'll cover a couple of them today. Penetration resistance, metabolic resistance, target site resistance, mm-hmm. and behavioral resistance. Mm-hmm. So with the Crossfire, obviously it's a metabolic resistance, right? The enzymes, how they're digesting the product itself, they've adapted, and mm-hmm. they actually had population charts out of 100, over a certain amount of life cycles, how it actually looks like, when you base it over the few months that one company was using Crossfire. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, yeah, of course you're getting no results because you keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yes. Yeah.
So the metabolic resistance is interesting because it's about the detoxifying enzymes, over and over again.
Yeah.
Another interesting one is the penetration resistance. So to kill bed bugs, insecticide needs to penetrate through the bed bug cuticle and get into the body. So the cuticle is that waxy barrier on the backside. Mm-hmm. The insecticide penetration will be reduced due to a thickened cuticle or overexpression of cuticular protein. It's directly from the slideshow. So what does that mean?
I don't know.
No, okay. I was hoping you'd bail me out.
No,
but,
I don't know.
What I think it is you're not applying the product in the correct way, in the correct amount, or at the correct frequencies, and it's causing the bed bugs to get ahead of the game, and their bodies are saying, hey, we need to keep producing more of this waxy barrier.
Okay, so your question is how are we causing resistance?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, so yes, I think you're absolutely right, because label's law, right? Mm-hmm. And so when we go off and we say we'll give Alpine a quick plug in this. Okay, so Alpine WSG. You go and read the label. It says 10 grams per gallon. Okay, that for treatment of spiders. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if that's actually 100% accurate, so don't quote me on that. Mm-hmm. But if you're using 10 grams per gallon and you say, hey, you know what? We want to go super safe on this. And, because the ag department, whatever, we're going to go 8 grams per gallon or 6 grams per gallon or 5 grams per gallon. Mm-hmm. Well, so now what you're doing is you're just giving them micro dosages of Alpine, which is not killing them. It's maybe hurting them or making them sick, but you're not actually killing them. And so you're just introducing, just like getting a virus, getting sick. You're getting a little bit, and then you'll get sick, and then you recover, and then you won't be sick again because you've built up that resistance to that virus or that flu or that sickness.
The same thing.
Yeah. So I think what's happening is companies will go in, they'll either go very low dosages and try to do it that way in hopes that it will work. And that's where they're building those resistances, is they're not killing them. The other flip side is you may go too high, and maybe the bed bugs aren't even going into that product because now they can sense that product. And so you think you're doing this super high dosage, which is going to kill them, but that's not even building the resistance. I just don't think they're going into the product at all.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think what it is you're getting little micro dosages, and that's how they're building that resistance, is you're not killing them from that product. Mm-hmm. Or even if you did spray it correctly, they're not hitting that product enough or getting enough into their system to get to the lethal dose.
Yeah.
So you start to build that, those proteins in their body, and they're going to fight that just like a disease.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Another interesting one, the target site resistance. So, insecticides, they attack specific sites. And when we're saying sites, it's, we're talking about like the nervous system or like the you know what I mean? It's actual, like where in the insect is it working?
Yeah.
And, when you're talking about like pyrethroids, for example, in this case, pyrethroids bind to the sodium channel inside the insect.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if that specific site has a mutation built up, it's less receptive to have as much of that amount of pyrethroid bind to it to take effect.
Oh, okay.
Right. So again, getting a little deep. So, this is where you start mixing in different chemicals to adapt to those mutations and get ahead of it. But
yeah. Well, and I like what one class I took years ago, what they said is what the guy said is, we are not here to kill 100% of the bed bugs. Mm-hmm. That's not what we're here to do. We can't do that. We don't know that. We have no idea where all of them are. We can't kill 100% of them. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to kill 100% of the females. Because if we can kill off all the females, who cares if there's males? Yeah, you can get bit. Yeah, sure. But they can't reproduce.
Right.
So we don't care. Or you're trying to cut off their life cycle. You have Teco, you have any IGR out there. You're now cutting off that life cycle so they no longer can produce. So now you just got to give it time to kill them all off. But now there's no reproduction even happening. So that's, or there's no development to be able to reproduce. And so that's kind of the idea, is you're just trying to cut that life cycle.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense.
No, that does. That does.
Anything else you wanted to add on that?
No, not to the resistance stuff. I was actually going through some of the notes. This one actually stuck out to me, kind of switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Because talked about, towards the end of the class, we kind of all brainstormed, like, what's the real challenge in managing bed bugs? Like, what are some actual challenges out there that's not user error?
Yeah.
And a very common theme is low income housing, disadvantaged communities probably have, the worst cases of bed bug infestations, right?
Yeah.
Where tenants are too poor to, have the financial means to pay for the treatment, or management doesn't have a budget to approve some of those things. So they're going in there and doing a semi kind of treatment, and it's just over time. And then finally, those companies are like, all right, enough of this shit. We're bringing in a professional. Yeah. And then it's like, oh my God, you guys have been doing this for like years,
Yeah.
And those are where it gets pretty challenging, where taking resistance formulations actually would be more crucial in those kind of, you know what I mean?
That's where companies need to get a backbone And in some cases, it's understanding what are you telling management or owners in those situations, right?
Yeah.
You know, if we go in and I say, hey, look, we can do a treatment, but understand I'm not going to be killing all of them. Mm-hmm. Will I kill some of them? Yes. Will I keep the population low? Yes. Am I going to get rid of them? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. It's not going to work that way. What do you want to do? Mm-hmm. You know, do you want me to treat it? Okay, cool. I'll treat it. But just so you know, this is not going to kill everything. Mm-hmm. This is not going to work. That's the problem that a lot of companies have. And we actually had an episode on that about educating customers.
Yeah.
People are not educating customers. Mm-hmm. We are one of the few, actually, there's probably other people in this, you know, that do the same thing, but we're one of the few professionals that say, Aaron, you're the customer. What do you want? Doctors don't do that. Mm-mm. They're not like, oh, hey, Aaron, your leg's broken. Do you want me to just put like a Band-Aid on it and kiss it better? Mm-hmm. Like, what do you want me to do?
You tell me.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's like, you tell me how you want me to fix this. Mm-hmm. You know, your appendix is about to explode. Mm-hmm. Do you want to just wait it out and we'll like hope that it works?
Sounds good.
Pray you know, me. like we're the only, you know, we're very few that we're like, okay, what do you want?
Yes.
No. I'll give you the option. You want me to spray this section of your yard and not that section? Okay, cool. I'll give you that option. But when you come to me and say, hey, I have bed bugs, okay, this is how you take care of it. This is what we have to do. Mm-hmm. If you don't do that, it's not going to work. What do you want to do? I'll still give you the option now. Mm-hmm. You know, your appendix exploded, Aaron. Mm-hmm. You're going to die, right? Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of time. Do you want me to do surgery or do you want to die? You can choose.
I want it. It's just so much money, though.
Right? It's, you know, you give them the option. What do you want to do? I'll give you the option, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. Pest control companies don't do that.
Yeah.
Technicians don't do that. And it's hard. It's hard to send out a guy and to have just some random guy go out and, you know, who doesn't care about his job, tell a manager, this is the situation.
Yeah.
You know, so that, I think that's why that happens. And this is where it comes from, is because nobody's willing to tell them the truth.
Yeah.
It's like, start acting as a professional.
Yeah. Some of the best conversations I've had with management or people who are running these facilities is you get that initial sticker shock. You know, because we do offer so much. And, you know, I've had someone say, it's that much? I'm like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And here's why.
Yeah.
And you break everything down. And they're still going to say, that's just a lot of money. It's like, I understand. But the prep, the treatments, the follow-up, what we're doing in between, this is why the costs are associated with the treatments.
Oh, yeah.
You have, like you said, you have to have a backbone.
Yeah. Oh, I remember one lady, I think it was the older lady at out in Reading. And she said something to me about the treatments, asked me something about the treatments. And I looked her dead in the eye and I'm like, we will get rid of them. Mm-hmm. And this is how we will get rid of them. Mm-hmm. It's going to work. And she's like, okay. Like, yeah, I can tell. I can tell you believe it. I'm like, yeah, I believe it because I've done it. Right? Yes. So it's as crazy as that is, but it's how confident are you in those treatments as well?
100%.
You know, if you're not confident in those treatments, you're never going to get away with saying it to them. Mm-hmm. You may be a good liar, but you're not that good. Yeah. Because people are going to see right through that and fairly quickly. But it's like, if you have that experience, you know, you've taken care of them, you've gone back in and seen the results. Oh yeah, it's easy. Yeah. I'll take care of it. I don't care what size of building it is. We can handle it. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a lot of work and it's going to cost a lot of money, but we can do it.
Yeah.
Do you want it done or not? It's that simple. But going back into ending, so this is for people who want to add this in, okay? You want to get bedbug treatments going and you're unsure of how much it's going to cost. And this is really kind of the forecast. I'll go over some numbers and then I'll tell you what the average cost for a single family home is. How do you expect the percentage of revenue generated by your location's bedbug control services to change in the next 12 months? Ooh, this is an interesting one. Increase, remain the same, or decrease? What do you think?
Increase.
That was actually not the number one pick. people said remain the same.
Oh, man.
How sad is that?
That's depressing.
Well, it's cool for us.
That's great.
But isn't that sad?
Yeah.
That 56% of people think it will remain the same. 41% will actually think it's an increase.
I wonder if they use the same pool of people to answer all these questions.
They did a sample of 4,352 pest control company owners, executive technical directors, and managers.
Yikes.
Yep, were in this survey. Majority of them were from the South. And then 21% from the West. All right. Has the pricing for bedbug services at your location increased, decreased, or remain unchanged in the past 3 years? Increased, remain the same, decreased. What do you think?
I think the people said remain the same. For us, it has increased.
56% said increased.
Good.
Yep.
Good job,
38%, remain the same, and 5% decreased prices, which is weird.
Yeah, you guys get out of here.
Just stop doing what you're doing. But for everyone out there, and this will come to the close of the episode, if you are looking into bedbug treatments itself and you don't know how to charge for them, one, go take some classes and courses. They actually go over. Some people base it off of square footage. We do. Mm-hmm. Other people, and I took a class about this. He actually said do it over a cubic square foot, which is insane because he's like, well, you need to treat the entire room top to bottom. So cubic.
This block of air right here is included.
Yeah, literally. It's so weird. Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly what he said. I don't agree with that very much, but you can do whatever you'd like. But the average price is actually $961 is charged for a typical residential bedbug treatment. I also don't agree with that.
It's a little low.
It's fairly low. I think it should be actually a lot higher than that depending on the square footage.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with that if it's a very small home. But the amount of work, and you have to treat the entire home. I'm going to give another thing that I've learned over the past, guys. Do not treat a single room ever. Don't do it.
But I just want it in one room. I'm only getting bit in one room.
I'm going to tell you right now, it has worked for me in the past.
Yeah.
100% has worked for me. Mm-hmm. Do not do it.
Yeah.
Because then it came and bit me in the ass later.
Yeah.
And the lady ended up, she's freaked out. She was mad. We're idiots. She's the smart one. And she's the one who chose the single room. And I even told her, we can do one single room. It has worked in the past. It does not guarantee we're going to get rid of them. And it is not going to cover the entire home. They could spread. They could still be here. Mm. And she still came back and said I was wrong.
Wow.
Even though I pre-warned her. But just so everyone knows, $961, depending on your area. Obviously, call around, see what other companies are charging. There's so many ways to find out good pricing and pricing methods. But also, you can't go off of a lot of the pricing from other companies either because they may not do what you do.
Yeah.
Companies don't do what we do. So we're going to charge different from them. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. And that's why people say, well, why is it so different? Well, because they're probably going in with Crossfire and just spraying it everywhere. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference. We're actually going to be here, and we're going to be here for a decent amount of time, treating literally everything. Mm-hmm. So we're going to charge different for that.
Absolutely.
So that is the bedbug control market report. Let us know what you think. Throw in your questions. We have the Q&A coming up, but we'd love to hear what you think about the bedbug. And let us know if you can actually get bedbug resistant to an IGR. I want to know that. I want to know if there's a resistance.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Agreed. Another one too. Any of the dog guys out there, if you're actually doing that, please message in. Because I'm actually curious. And, I don't see the bedbug services or scope of work slowing down anytime soon. So please, you guys are just starting it. You've been doing it for a while. You have good tips and tricks that you think would be good for the audience. We have the Q&A at the end of the month, but you're also always welcome to message into our Instagram or directly on the website. We're posting every Monday and Thursday, so please keep us in the loop. And thank you again for listening to the DNA Pest Control Podcast.